This is Loop Lake. It's an ice boat racing track that focuses on the difference between packed ice racing and blue ice racing. I'm going to take you on board a hot lap and explain the track along the way. So this is the starting straight on the inside of the island. This area has been developed with walls and barriers to keep drivers on the track. It's all packed ice through this sector with tighter corners. Notice the flags and banners that stretch across the track. Not only do these serve as recognizable landmarks to remember turns, but the banners serve as checkpoints that can give valuable information on the lap time. This section of the track is pretty easy, so the start of the races don't seem too impossible. And the sector finishes at the bridge, but we can turn right to keep on the inner loop of the track, making a much shorter lap time. But instead, we'll go on the full loop. When we go across the bridge, we switch from packed ice to blue ice and dive into the wooded outer sector of the track. This area is dense with trees and has not been developed much for racing. It's probably the hardest part of the track to stay on the road, with fast speeds and a somewhat limited visibility. Through a majority of these turns, they're layered with a grippier packed ice to keep turns easier and smoother. The track through this area is quite thin for the speeds we reach, but it makes barreling down the road just a little bit more scarier. Though turns here are more broad and less tight than the inner loop, and that's the contrast this track aims for. And combined with its length of over 2 minutes, it could give time trials lots of competition. There's a few long straights towards the end of this sector, and they really let us hit high speeds in the blue ice. And it's pretty scary to be going that fast on that thin of a track. But the broad packed ice turn ahead catches us with a satisfying flow into the next turn, without the feeling of a big speed change. It's neat to look out across the water and see the inner track on the island. During races, you can get vision on other drivers and their battles. As we finish the outside sector, we go back onto the bridge that we did before, having gone all the way around the lake and the center island. This part is really interesting, as we switch from blue ice back to packed. Getting used to the switch that quickly is harder than it looks. We're going much slower than before, and the ice gives a lot more grip now. But we return to the developed track with barriers and flags dotted around. As we finish the lap, you can see that Loop Lake focuses a lot on the contrast of racing on the two different surfaces, and it gives a pleasant backdrop and scene to go with it. The track will be available on both Planet Minecraft and on the public Minecraft boat racing server, Frosthex.com. Hopefully you enjoyed this track enough to go give it a spin yourself. Let me know what you thought of it. Maybe I'll do another one, but for now, happy racing.